And to know for sure how many hours does Muslims in the Netherlands have to fast this year, I'll be asking Adisty Anggraeni, an Indonesian and also digital creator who lives in Deil, Netherlands, on how Muslims there observe Ramadan. Hello, Adisty.
Hi, hello, Mbak Stephanie. How are you?
Good, good. How are you? If you could tell us the situation there and how do you observe Ramadan there in Netherlands?
We're good, thank you. Yeah, it is interesting to observe Ramadan here in the Netherlands. But this year, we found it a bit easier than last year. Sorry, my daughter is hanging on my shoulder. This year, we can break the fast or iftar around 8:30, and then in the end of Ramadan next week will be around 8:40. So it's 16 hours in average. It is harder than in Indonesia, but we manage. So far, so good.
All right, Adisty, how long have you been living in Holland, and what do you miss most from Ramadan in Indonesia?
I have been living in the Netherlands for 6 years this year, and what I miss the most, of course, all this Ramadan food, or special food in Ramadan that you can only find during Ramadan season or month in Indonesia, and all the gathering for iftar, or we call it bukber, buka bersama. That's something that I really miss from Ramadan in Indonesia. Although we can also do it here, but it's just a different ambience because in Indonesia it's more, festive, so to say.
Right. And what particular things do you find or get during Ramadan in Holland?
I usually make my own food for food-wise, cooking-wise, and then there's some special things that I always miss ever since I live in the Netherlands. It's some sweets. I think it's Turkish sweets. It's called baklava. It's like pastries with pistachio, sweets, honey, and you can only find them in the Turkish or Moroccan shop in the Netherlands. So for this year Ramadan, I always crave for it, and I always go to this Turkish shop and then try to get these sweets for breaking the fast or iftar. And also dates. I also like to eat dates, and then that's something that we can easily find in the Netherlands.
All right, you cook and bake a lot during Ramadan, don't you? So
Yeah.
in general, how is impression and response of the native community members about Islam and Ramadan there?
I must say, if you live in the big city, because we live in a small village, but I work in Amsterdam, and big cities, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Utrecht, or The Hague, you see a lot more expat communities, which they are super open and they know already. We have a lot of Muslims or other religions in the region. In the village, it's not very known, or not many people know what is Ramadan. But in the big cities, they do celebrate it. And surprisingly, in like international companies, they even put some flyers or something to greetings on the Zoom screen saying Ramadan Kareem and so on. So it is actually very good in this young generation in Europe.
Okay, with that kind of level of tolerance in the area that you live in, so can you perform like a religious activity such as Taraweeh, Iftar gathering, or like Eid gathering, or halal bil halal, we call it in Indonesia as well?
Yeah, you definitely can, but not in my area. I mean, in the Netherlands, again, in the big cities where we have a lot of Muslim communities, even Indonesian Muslim communities. Let's say in the Hague or The Hague in English, there are a lot of Indonesian students, or in Groningen, or in Breda, or in big cities, Utrecht, or even Amsterdam, for sure. There are a lot of, I even got invitations for Taraweh. But for me, it's late, and I'm a mother, so it's difficult for me to go back and forth from here to Amsterdam. It's like 60 kilometers. But we will go definitely for Eid, and to perform Eid prayer there in the Indonesian mosque in Amsterdam.
Okay. Are there many Muslim Indonesians living in the same area with you, and how is the bond among them? Any special activities conducted during this Ramadan?
Not in my area, but we have to go further because I have Indonesian community. We are very close. Like we do arisan every month and everything. So we're just doing it in our community, which is, we have to go through the distance to meet each other for Iftar together. But again, Iftar is very late here, so it is not easy to go to a restaurant for something to eat because then they will close at 10 o'clock. So what we do usually is if in the beginning of Ramadan, when you can still break the fast at 7, we still could make time to gather. But at this time, I didn't join, or we didn't even try to plan it because, again, the difficulty in timings. And in Netherlands, we have to do everything ourselves. And we have to prepare the kids to go to bed early for the next day to go to school again. So it is rather difficult, but we are planning to do halal bihalal and Eid celebration.
All right, Adisty Anggraeni, thank you very much for telling your stories and sharing about the activities and activities during the Ramadan in Holland. Please stay safe and well.
My pleasure. Thank you.